snow leopards are known as the grey ghost of the mountains. They are very solitary animals, but maybe that's one of the reasons they are shrouded in mystery. Over the years, its elusiveness has prompted much speculation and legend. Leopards are generally said to be closely linked to shamans, and the snow leopard totem in particular represents inner knowing and respect for the mysteries of life and death. It's said by indigenous people that snow leopards remove people's sins from their past lives, and if that a snow leopard is killed, the sins will be transferred to the killer's present life. This does mean that snow leopards are hunted much less by locals. Other endangered creatures are still hunted though. There are 3 different types of bats, each of which is native to the Americas. In the mammal world, they are the only ones that can fly, and they live either by themselves or in colonies, but always within the warmth of a dark cave. Vampire bats are nocturnal, and they feed entirely upon blood. The only exception to this is when they are first born. They do not have many teeth, as they drink only blood, but those that they do have are razor sharp. The bats use their teeth not to bite, but to make a precise cut in their victim's skin, allowing the blood to pour out. Even though people believe the bats suck the blood out, this is just not the case. They simply lap the blood from the cut. The bat's saliva contains enzymes which act as an anticoagulant, preventing the blood from clotting. Around the world, there are many different beliefs that surround the vampire bat. Within South America, an ancient Mayan cult had a god of caves named Kalmazot. It was claimed that he had the body of a man and the head and wings of a bat. Vampire bats are often linked to death. In some places, they are seen as the souls of people, including sorcerers, criminals, and the unburied dead. There are a huge amount of stories in folklore involving bats. Things like, if you rub a bat's blood on your face, it will help you see in the dark. Or, if you're looking for a cure for baldness or grey hair, powdered bat wing and coconut oil is supposed to work. I wouldn't want to test the next 2 out, but apparently, a powdered bat's heart will stop a bullet, and contradictory to that belief, that if you swab a gun with the bat's heart, the bullet will never miss. The good news about vampire bats is that in reality, scientists have used the bat's anticoagulant enzymes to produce medicine to help heart patients. Not such a bad creature after all, are they? The pink river dolphin is the most intelligent of dolphins. It has 40% more brain capacity than humans. They are also known as botos. These cetaceans are easily distinguished by their long narrow mouths, as well as their unique colouring. They can be anything from light pink to grey, or even brown. The difference from other ocean-dwelling dolphins is they have an unfused vertebrae in their spine. This means that they can turn their heads left and right, as well as looking down. The pink river dolphins are protected. This is because it's said bad luck will come to anyone who hunts them or eats them. Botos are often viewed as shapeshifters that are able to turn into humans whenever they want. Superstitions vary. Some people say that they were previously humans, some that they are going to become humans, and others that they collect the souls of those who die in the river. The main belief surrounding the dolphins is that they change into young men during the night and seduce the local women. Many unexplained pregnancies have been blamed upon the dolphins, as well as birth deficiencies such as babies' scalps not forming entirely, which has been interpreted as a blowhole forming. The polar bear features prominently in the mythologies and traditional beliefs of the indigenous peoples throughout the Arctic. The Inuit people, who come mainly from Canada and Greenland, have lots of stories surrounding the polar bear. One legend says that the polar bears are half man and half bear, and that they could shed their bearskins upon entering their igloo, rendering them able to walk, and talk like humans. The polar bear was regarded as powerful and wise, a predator who was both venerated and hunted for their meat, fur, and other body parts, providing people with the means to survive in hard, cold conditions where they live. Nanook, the name for the polar bear in the Inuktitut language, was the master of bears, a deity who could grant both success and failure in the polar bear hunt. One legend tells that if a polar bear is treated with respect upon being killed, then they would share the news with other bears, and they too would allow themselves to be hunted. The way they gave the bears sole respect was by hanging the skin up in their homes, and if the bear was male, they would present it with offerings of weapons and hunting tools, and needle cases and skin scrapers for female bears. If the offering was done correctly, the bear would obtain the souls of the tools, and they would take them into the afterlife with them. If a hunter violated these practices, mistreated the bear, or failed to honour its spirits, then Anouk would make sure that bear stayed away from the hunter, and all his hunts would end in failure. The polar bear has remained an important part of indigenous cultures for millennia. It's portrayed in myths and legends, and both spiritually and powerfully closely akin to humans. Regional folklore in Madagascar could spell disaster for one of the world's most unusual primates. The aye is an endangered species of nocturnal tree-dwelling lemurs found only on the island of Madagascar off the coast of eastern Africa. Unlike the more known and more cuddly lemur, the aye looks more like a cross between a koala and a rat with rodent-like teeth. On the plus side though, the aye does have brains going for it, as it has the largest brain in the lemur family. The aye was thought to be extinct, and it wasn't until 1961 that it was rediscovered. Malagasy legends contend that the aye is a harbinger of death, and if you see one, it's predicting an ill fate of a villager. If the aye is discovered in the village itself, many believe the only option is to abandon the entire village, or everyone residing there will risk suffering sickness and death. Many believe that the aye will sneak into your room at night, then they will pierce your heart with its long, slender middle finger. As a result, these relatively tame creatures stumbling into villages in search of food were often killed on sight by individuals who wished to avoid the curse. Aye are not scared of humans and are often intrigued by the sight of them, completely unaware of the danger we pose.